Ready.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to this
Thank
edition of Sagionic 1027. We are so glad you decided to join us. And again, I have one of those guests. I think I met this guest back in probably 2015, 16. It was something right around in there is when I met her. And
That was
instantly,
a hoot.
yeah, I instantly fell in love with her. And she is. A spitfire of energy, creativity, um, and I don't know. It's just anybody who steps in her presence, it's like they're in the presence of another space. And so with us today, we have Suzy Petrucci. Did I say that right, Suzy?
You did.
Suzy Petrucci, and she is the founder of Glimmer Glass Photography in the greater Seattle, Tacoma, Snoqualmie, all those neighborhoods out there. She is a photographer out there, and she has such innovative ideas. And I'm so glad you could be with us today, Suzy.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. This has
Yeah,
been, I've been looking forward to this ever since you told me about it and just trying to get it arranged to make it work.
yeah. So, how long have you been in this industry?
Since 2009,
Okay, okay.
kind of
So it was
started
more like a
later in
second
life.
career. It was more like a
Beg your
second career.
pardon?
It was like a second career.
Well, I kind of backed up from because we do screen printing. And so
Okay.
I would do the garment graphic design setup, used a lot of Photoshop in doing that. So the Photoshop kind of backed me into the photography.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah,
And, and so I got to meet Susie when I was at the Northwest Christian Writers Conference. And I thought it was brilliant that they would have a photographer there who would do headshots and so professional. So tell us some of the other fun ideals that were, and then how did you come into partnership with those ideals? Was it something that originated from a dream, or did you see it somewhere? Tell us a little bit about that.
so my original foray into um, SLR cameras. So originally I did camera club in school.
Okay, okay, okay.
Always in love with cameras. My dad used to bring all kinds of cameras home when I was a kid. And photography was just sort of a fun little hobby for my dad. And I always took to it. So um, I always had like a little instant camera or Polaroid, but I decided I wanted a really good camera. I want to take better pictures than that. This was before everybody had a camera in their pocket,
Okay.
with their phone. So and I just didn't even think that iPhones were going to turn into what they turned into, right?
Okay, okay,
So I had this dog I really wanted to photograph. It
okay.
was a pet. And yeah, I just kept practicing. I just sat and I read books. I didn't even, you didn't use the internet yet
Yeah.
to learn things. It was like, maybe it was 2008, 2009. And I wasn't um, all that into using the internet for stuff like that
Okay.
to look. I don't know that you could even find that much stuff yet, but I would buy the books and I would go to classes and I would go to conventions and stuff. And I was invited to go to the Northwest Christian Writers as a vendor. And um, it was sort of my idea to do the headshots. It's like, I sell soap. I make soap and lotion. So
Okay.
it was like, yeah, well, what if I set up a booth and just did headshots for people? And
Yeah.
the gal that signed me up to be the vendor, she's like, okay, I'll put it out there and see if anybody wants to sign up ahead of time if there's any interest in that. And there was a bucket load of interest for that. So it was really fun. And it was just sort of it was kind of an experiment even
Okay.
for me,
Okay.
because I didn't think much about it. So it was like, how am I going to get all this gear over there? So I had to bring the gear, backdrops, lighting, reflectors, all this stuff. And it's so funny because people were like, oh yeah, a headshot. Well, can we do it outside? It's like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
People like it outside, and I did do a few outside this last go around,
Okay.
but I always think that, for a professional headshot, for a book cover,
That's
they
right.
like, it gets too cluttered. I like that plain background like I have back
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So you're really spotlighting the person that you want to identify with when you read the book.
Yeah.
So
It's
and
it's
that's
important. It's important because when you read a book, I often I'm the reader in our family. So we'll get books and I'll read them. Like I'll read them, when we're sitting down on the couch or driving in the car or whatever, right? And it always takes me a second to get the voice of the author.
for
Right?
real, yeah.
You wouldn't think that's such a thing, but you have to get their voice. And then once you get their voice, then you can, so to speak, groove with the book, right? But seeing that headshot, it's important.
I believe it is. I believe it is. And I think it's important for the author too to get familiar with, to care about themselves that way, to love themselves, their image. That's their image made in the image of God, right?
Yeah.
So for them to really embrace the skin they're in, it can be difficult.
Yeah.
And I want to give them the best lighting. I want to give them the best lighting because really lighting is key.
It does make a difference. And think of this, when we partner with creation, right? We are
Oh,
all
yeah, yeah.
we're all still benefiting from Edison, right? Edison
Exactly.
has lights, right? But nowadays
Yeah.
there's all different kinds of lights, right?
Yeah.
Um,
And
so
we are not going to sit here on this video chat without a light on
yeah,
us, right? I mean, I even got my door open because it got so dim today that it's
yeah,
like, oh, I got the door open and the color on this thing isn't as good as what, another thing would be. But
yeah. I think you look fabulous.
I look a little bit pale in this thing. I don't know how it looks on your end, but
I love Suzy. I love what Suzy stands for. So I've seen Suzy. She's became a part of our family, my sister's family up in the Seattle area.
oh
So
gosh, your sister's
I see.
awesome.
I've seen Suzy at baby
Harry.
showers. Yeah, I've seen her at all different kinds of events because she just becomes one of the family members. I can't even imagine how many families you have up
Oh
there.
yeah, yeah. I think, did I see you at oh gosh, what was that gal's name? She was a singer.
Lisa, I wasn't there. I wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Yeah, I saw the rest of your family there.
yeah, she's doing incredible though. She's there. She's doing really good. She's in Arizona.
Yeah.
And I got to interview her
Tell
a
me her
while back.
name again.
Lisa Mitz Music.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So you and her are one of the same. Just go getters. Um, so can for how would you encourage people who have always spoken negatively over themselves to do a portrait setting?
Spoken negatively over themselves, their physical appearance.
Yes, who have
Oh my gosh, I
in
tell
the
you, I hear it
dialogue. So how would
all
you
the
encourage?
time.
But how would you encourage them to allow the professionals to see to help you to see the beauty in you?
Well, I think the biggest fear factor is that they are afraid that of what oh, my light just went out. Hold on. Can I go put it back on?
Yes, go
Hold
ahead.
on. So I think the biggest fear factor for people has to do with hold on. There you go. Takes me so long to get everything put together. So the biggest fear factor with people is that they've seen photos of themselves before
Okay.
that they didn't like. And
Okay.
they assume that it's them. And it's not
Mhm.
them.
Mm.
It's the lighting, or it's the way they were posed, or
Uh-huh.
because really and especially these selfies now too that people do with their selfie camera, You have to hold it at a particular angle, at a particular distance because of the size of the lens with that camera and all this. So people get used to how they look there, and it really widens the face.
Yeah, yeah.
So, or if you have your chin down and your eyes up, I mean, look at the closest thing to the camera is the biggest. So they do it like this. So their eyes are like big doe eyes,
Yeah, yeah.
So I would say that to encourage people, I would I would show them, I hate to do before and afters because I
Uh-huh.
don't like to do that, but
Yeah,
just to let them know it's not the same as just someone taking a snapshot.
that's right. That's right.
You're gonna get the most flattering light, a flattering pose, and we'll work with what you have, and it'll be you, and it'll look beautiful. It's always a challenge. People just are very. It's like it makes me feel bad. It's like when you call the plumber. It's always the worst possible situation in the house, and people treat you like, oh, great, I gotta call the plumber. It's I gotta go get a photo. So it can be a little bit of a downer. There are some people that are really excited to get pictures,
Uh-huh.
and and that is really evident during the Christmas portrait event. You get dressed up, people get dressed up, they want to do it, they're having fun, especially if it's a group thing. When it's just as an individual picture, the hardest thing too about pictures is that it's a still static image. So
Okay.
people scrutinize it more because
Okay.
there's too much time to stare at it.
Oh,
So you know what I mean?
yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not mobile, it's not moving, it's not like, and it's like, I'm not going to catch you. Like if I shoot a wedding, it's like, I'm not going to shoot during the time people are chewing their food. That's just not a good look.
Yeah.
Inevitably you catch somebody with their mouth in a really bad spot.
Yeah.
So, and that's also the case with singers.
Okay.
Trying to catch good images of singers.
Okay.
You got to snap, 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 snap.
I bet. Now, what about, do you do things like maternity pictures?
Oh
I
yeah, yeah.
Maternity pictures are beautiful.
I know. I love to do maternity and newborn. I actually have a newborn session on. I work with not New Care, Next Step Pregnancy Center and I
Oh,
do the newborns for them,
oh,
newborn
that's
pictures.
amazing.
That's a beautiful thing.
And you know what it makes me think of when you said that, Susie, is what a gift, right? So some people buy gift cards for, you know, uh, I don't want to name names. So some people buy gift cards for places that ship to you. Some people buy gift cards for big warehouses you can go shopping at. Some people, oh yeah, some people buy gift card for liquid beverages, right? But this would be a beautiful gift to give someone as a present, right? For their
Especially
birthday.
for a newborn,
Yeah, or
for a
like for a
newborn
birthday.
session.
Yeah, for even or
Or
even
birthday
yeah, or
or
birthday.
family, like an anniversary to do
Yes.
a family photo for sure.
Yes, that would just be great because I always like to think of creative ways to how can we incorporate different businesses, because I know me personally, if you look at our cover photo on Facebook, that was done by a professional photographer, and we went to get it done, and the family. Some of the family comments behind the scene were special.
Oh, exactly. Because it's an intentional experience. When you get everyone together and get dressed up, they're all at their own houses, especially like if it's a combined family, with grandkids and stuff. They're at their house, you're
Yeah,
at your house, another
yeah,
family, another group's at another house, and they're all having their situation that morning to get ready and all the craziness, and then everybody gets together and they start prodding and poking at each other and razzing each other and making fun of each other, and that's the memory that is attached to that picture. That's
yeah.
and it's like every time you look at that, you remember.
Oh my
And
god.
I like to offer it as an experience. It's
That's
more
right.
than just a picture. It's an experience. And that's kind of what's happening here next month with the Christmas portrait event. It turns into an experience.
Yeah. And so where geographically is this going to take place?
It's here in my studio. It's going to be
Okay.
transformed. So like at the end of this month, I should
Okay.
have everything decorated.
Okay. Okay.
So I have show and tell. Can I do show and tell?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. So I brought this picture that I keep on my wall from
Okay.
my family's Christmas portrait event. So
Oh,
I don't know.
oh, yeah.
If I
Bring it,
can figure out how to get it in the.
up and closer.
Can you
Now
see it?
make it go like it's tilting towards us. And now
Oh,
go cover your face.
wait.
Where it's covering your face.
Uh, 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 uh. It's so
Oh.
hard because it's got glass, so it
No,
reflects.
it's okay though because we can see it, and that is beautiful.
So that was the little teardrop backdrop camping camp out look. So
Okay,
and I
that
had
is
snow.
great.
It was so fun. It was so fun. So I had all these. Here's more.
Oh,
I
that's
made
a
a book of
great
them
idea.
all,
Oh,
and then I'll take and people would just
oh,
have a
I love
blast.
it.
Pretend they were
Oh
having little snowball
yeah.
fights and stuff. So it's definitely a super fun. It was a really fun thing to do. It was it was 2020,
Okay.
and I wanted it to have. It was the first time I did it with an outdoor theme.
Okay.
Usually I have like an indoor theme,
Okay.
with the pretty lights and the tree and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I don't do the Santa thing, but
Okay.
so it's in this barn, and I have the doors open, so there's ventilation, and
Yeah.
it just felt fun. But it was so funny because then when I would put those pictures online to promote it, to have
Yeah.
more people sign up, some people would come over. It was the funniest thing. They were looking around the yard and they're like, "Where's the camper?" They're like, I felt so bad because they really thought there was going to be a camper
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because it looked pretty real, but it was pretty funny.
Yeah. That
But
is.
they love the pictures anyway, and I've had repeat during COVID too. That really, I feel like COVID really propelled my business in
Okay.
the
Okay.
honest way that so many people were home, and I had offered front porch portraits during 2020 for one of the school auctions. That my daughter worked at Christ the King,
Okay.
and they couldn't have their fundraising auction, and so I called the gal and I said, what if you offered like for $50 and I just would go house to house and take pictures for people? And people loved it. They sold like 35, 40 sets of these front porch portraits and raised all that money.
Yes, that is
So I went house to house to house,
great.
and that was in 2020. And then also I did it for our church, for the school, the eighth grade graduates, because they couldn't have their graduation. So
Okay.
then I did for all them, and now they're all calling me back for because it's been 4 years, and now they're all graduating high school. So
Yeah.
now they're all calling back, and it's been such a blessing. But I
Yeah.
mean, when I would go to people's houses during that 2020, it was like March, April, May, and people would say, this is the first thing I had to get dressed up for in a very long time. But it was fun, and it was, it's like we haven't gotten out of our pajamas or our sweats or anything, and they were happy to see me. They were happy to do it. It was like it was something to do, something different,
Yeah.
someone to see, someone to interact with.
That's
I
right.
stood a ways away. I had my big long lens
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. Yeah. That's right.
making
Now,
pictures.
what
But
about
it was great.
have you ever done reunions, high school reunions?
I have done high school reunions, and those are not easy. They- They're huge, like because they want the big group picture. That's the
Yeah.
hardest. Once you get that out of the way, then it's fine. But
Okay.
but that's okay. And then but what I would do is set up a photo booth at
Okay.
the high school
Okay.
reunions, and
Okay.
I do that. I set up a photo booth regularly at different events in Issaquah as well.
Okay. Okay. So then
Yeah.
it makes me think, I wonder if Susie did my high school reunion and I was unaware of it.
Oh, this was Ballard. I did Ballard High School a couple times, but I haven't really done any other ones.
Okay. Did you ever do Franklin High School years ago? Okay.
No.
Okay, somebody did, and it was great. She set up a it was so much fun. It was
It is. I mean, it is fun.
yeah.
The one that I did was, I think it was like a 40-year reunion.
Oh, okay, okay,
It was a way out there one.
okay,
The
okay,
one I'm thinking of, the most recent one that I did.
okay. And okay, so what has been okay, so with being a woman who captures people, how difficult has it been to separate the emotions of what you feel coming from a family to keep it to it's because it's almost like you're taking your joy and creativity and trying to put it upon them. So how have you been able to separate that but also um, creatively allow your voice to be stronger than discouragement that's raying off of a family?
Well, sometimes it can be. If the hardest thing is when parents have little kids and they don't um, keep them corralled,
Okay.
when they let them run around and touch the equipment, that really bothers me.
Okay.
That's like, why are you doing this? But I I think that for the most part, that if there is a lot of energy that we work off of each other, that they're usually happy to be there.
Okay.
Um, I do feel myself get uh, a little bit, like the hair going up on the back of my neck if the kids are running around and touching things that are very expensive that they could break, and that the parents are kind of not considerate of that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, that doesn't usually happen. I
Yeah.
mean, most people are pretty responsible.
Yeah.
Uh, it's only happened like twice.
Yeah.
So, and we won't name names.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for the most part, it's like I stay calm
Okay.
and just try to be confident in directing, as long as I can keep directing them. And if I keep talking,
Okay.
then it seems to work better, as so that they aren't having to think, where do I put my hands? Where do I put my feet? If someone is constantly directing, then they don't feel awkward, and they don't feel like, I mean, they might feel awkward because some of the poses feel awkward to them, but they don't look awkward to the camera.
And
But
you
for
know
the
what?
most part,
I would say that's huge right there, what you just said. To communicate, right? Because the person that's being photographed, they don't know. Okay, because they're used to their still pictures, right? Or family pictures, or, uh,
the iPhone pictures for the most part.
yeah.
And
But,
I was going to do, to get, not to like to even extrapolate on that a little bit more.
okay. Yes, please
I
do.
have not heard, so the comment that I hear the most is from wives.
Okay.
Why can't my husband take a photo of this good of me? So women want their husbands to take a good photo, and the guys have this camera in their pocket all the time, but they cannot seem to take a decent photo of their wife. They seem to get a good one of, whatever else they're looking at. So I was going to do a workshop.
Oh my gosh, I am so glad you said it. I was going to say it next, right? Susie, you would go viral. You would go
I'm
viral
gonna
in
do
like
I
a
have to, and
day.
I have it in my newsletter that's going out this week, and I'm like, should I really do that? A
Yes.
workshop, how to pose, and I have like 10 steps and a little workbook already put together, and it's like, I'm pretty sure I'll get people to sign up for this.
Oh my
But
gosh,
it has to be couples. It's a
brilliant.
couples only. The woman has to be there too.
Yeah,
So
but even if you okay, so if you did one in both, right? You did a on-site, right, workshop, but then you created from your on-site, right? You had your participants want to be part of the panel, right? And then from that, you turned around and you charged a fee. So these couples would get professional pictures out of it, right? As their brownie points,
oh
so
yeah,
to speak,
yeah. That
right?
and I could do like if I could be a little more technologically savvy, maybe I could get the video to actually work.
Stop
So we
it.
can take.
Stop it. That's what you have people for. You have people for that. You
I
get
need
a
people.
tripod, right? A
That's what.
tripod.
Yeah, that's what a tripod's for. I just
Yeah.
like set the iPad upside or the iPad upside and take video.
No, you get a tripod with your cell phone. I'm telling you, it would work.
Oh, yeah. I do have a tripod for the cell phone, but I just lost the little gripper.
Oh no. Okay. Okay. So it's under
I gotta
15.
get the little gripper for it.
Yep, under $15. You get the go on that one of those places that ship things to you, right?
Right,
And
right.
you can get yourself a new little gripper and it'll work. I'm telling you, Susie, this is genius. Genius. Susie, you have got to incorporate this before this video goes live. I'm telling you, Susie. This is
Yeah.
oh goodness. This is great. It's needed. It's needed.
Well, and I think it's important for couples to step one for the guy, notice her. Step one.
Yeah.
When you see her and she looks beautiful in a particular light, tell her you want to take her picture.
Oh, I
And
love
it's like,
that.
yeah, and it's as easy as that. And you will get an expression that she is going to love in that picture.
That's right, because that's like melt your heart,
Yeah.
right?
It's like, come on, guys, get with the program.
Yeah. So, did you see your dad capture those? Did he have that kind of love when you were growing up? Did you see that love?
You know, he, I was little. I mean, he probably took more pictures of my mom when they were more newlywed.
Uh huh.
Um, he mostly took pictures of me.
Uh,
So yeah, it would be me and my niece, my sister's daughter.
okay.
She was the same age as I am.
Okay.
So we were always together, and he just got a kick out of it. And at the office, at the organ, playing the accordion, always taking our picture.
You know, you say accordion. A couple of years back, in 2 weeks from now, it's my anniversary week. And I wanted to do something just out there. So a couple of years ago, I hired somebody to come play the bagpipes for my husband on our anniversary day. And it would have been amazing to have something like that professionally photographed,
Oh
because
yeah.
and she lived down the street and she came down the street because it had to be 8, so it was late enough for everybody else, right? And so it caused everybody to go outside their door and say, "What is that sound?"
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she came in and she played for a half an hour, and it was just great to just do different memories, right? Even if it
I
was
had yeah.
let's have fun, right?
I had a milestone birthday this past
Okay,
August,
okay,
and I hired a steel drum player. I love steel drum music. So
okay.
it
So
it was fun. And
I don't know
it's
what
just
that is. What is that?
steel drum
Yeah,
calypso
I don't,
type music, just that. Okay, think Little Mermaid.
like
Da-da-da-da,
is it this?
da-da-da.
Oh, like just that kind of drum?
Yeah, it's metal, and they have
Okay.
those sticks, the
Oh
little
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, like they put the straps around their neck and hold the drum, like when you're in marching band. That one.
uh I guess you could do it like that, but it's on a stand. It's like a
Okay.
kettle. It's a kettle drum. Maybe
Oh,
you
okay.
might know it as a kettle.
Yes, yes.
It's a Caribbean sound.
Yes, yes, yes. I know what you're talking
So,
about now. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I love that. You're so
Yeah,
sweet.
it's soft, it's soothing, it's non-intrusive, it's relaxing, it's fun. And, and the guy was, he was a character. It was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Well, that was genius. Okay.
Yeah, that was really fun.
So what are where do I want to go with this? Where do I want to go with this? Okay. Can you share with viewers um how because if you took photography, so I've heard it 3 times today. You're my 4th interview today. Okay, so I've heard it 3 times already, and it was in different verbiage, how they take something from their past and it was inevitably used to be the foundation for their future. So I want you to think of, okay, so you had mentioned the great I am. Okay, so I can bust out with this terminology. Okay, and that is fruits of the spirit. Fruits of the spirit. Okay, so how have different growth phases in your life helped you to maturely walk out different things now? Now that you have the milestone birthday.
Right. I'm sure that it has. My awareness of it might not be that good, but but
Okay,
I'm
so
sure.
try to think of a time. I want you to think of a time, Susie, where you were being stretched so far that you thought your skin was going to snap. Okay. But now without names, okay, with how do you share how that stretching period actually helped you to walk out different things in your life now?
I am not that. Um, I guess I'm not feeling that intellectual about that. I don't really know how to express that.
Okay. 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 We're going to word it a different way. So, okay, that we're going to word it differently because if you are capturing moments with families, right? If you're capturing, you know, um, um, okay, I know of a
So
dear.
maybe moments of family, like how do I so my kids are older. They're in their
Okay.
30s.
Okay.
So maybe I I don't think we ever went to do a family photo. I never did, like we never went and got, and even as a child, my family never went and got portraits.
Uh huh.
I went on my own to get my high school senior pictures at a studio.
That was me too. Me too.
Yeah, because I was like, I want high school pictures like I've seen other kids have, but
Yeah.
although not all kids did that, but when I saw some of them that did do it and they looked like magazine images, I wanted a magazine.
Yes.
And that's how I want to photograph people. I want to photograph them so that they feel like they could be on the cover of a magazine. I mean, that's legitimately my goal. But I have never, even when my kids were little, it never even occurred to me to go get a family photo at a professional place. It never did. And we
Now, what
never.
you kind of used a play on words to look like they're on the cover of a magazine. So, what did you do with something like that a couple of years back?
Oh, I love to make, so like this one here, because I like to write. So I put together, and I think I showed you this.
Yes, you did.
So it's like a marketing magazine, and I have, all these women. I love to photograph women. I love to make them beautiful, or make them even feel more beautiful than they are, because they are beautiful. This one was one of my favorites right here. This gal here, this is her and her daughter, like a mother and daughter picture.
Um,
People don't expect to feel that beautiful in a picture. And
yeah.
so when you do that and you pose them, you light them, and you create an intimacy between a mother and daughter, that maybe there was conflict and they feel this
Mm.
preciousness for a moment and they know that it's allowed, it kind of opens things up. Sometimes it feels like they might have a renewal to the relationship through, at
Mm.
least I hope so.
That's
And
right.
yeah, so it's like when you put people together, and I love to do grandparents' day at the school, because the kids don't always want to cuddle with grandma, but it gives grandma an excuse to cuddle with them in front of the camera. And honestly, it is a joy. It's an absolute joy. And so I'm doing a lot of things that I never did I'm doing a lot of things that I want to give other people that it never occurred to me to have, when I was younger. So I guess that would be stretching myself if that's what you were looking for. I don't know,
Yes,
but
yes, yes. Because
yeah,
okay. So basically, uh,
newborn pictures never occurred to me to do that as when my
yeah.
kids were little.
Isn't that funny? And back in the day with my oldest is 36, and I remember I don't know, I was somewhere at a grocery store or something, and they said, "Hey, let us come to your house and film your newborn baby," right? And they had those little pictures where they propped up the newborns like they were like a week old, and they propped
Uh-huh.
up the newborn like this, you know?
Yeah, it's
And
kind of
I
funny.
yeah, they did. And I just it was, California, and it was just the best thing ever. Put a little hat on him and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And the funnest part about that too is that the oohing and the eyeing in the background of the parents and the grandparents that are there watching this going, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So yeah, they love those pictures because they were there watching them happen.
Yeah, that's great. So I don't quite know how to say the name, but I know there's a B at the beginning, there's a D in the middle, and it has to do with like I'm gonna call it off the shoulder pictures. What are those
Oh,
called?
boudoir.
Yes. Do you do any of those?
No.
Okay. Well, I don't know the fullness of only because I met a photographer once, who did our family, and she had thrown that out there. So I don't know the extent of it, right? If it's
It's
just
underwear pictures. I think it's
oh,
soft porn, but what
oh
I mean, it's like it's underwear pictures is what
okay,
it is.
okay, okay, okay,
I
okay.
don't
Well,
do that. I don't want to be, I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know.
No, I mean, I took my
I
my
think it could
daughter.
get a little weird, but maybe I don't know. Maybe it's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. No,
I'm
no.
sure
I
there's a
just
lot
think.
of
Go
it's
ahead.
like, oh, well, yeah, I don't do it.
Yeah, I think that we all have gauges, right? All of our gauges are different, right? Um, uh, of women that have been pregnant in my family, one of my children let me do maternity pictures. And we had the best fun ever, and
Oh
it was
yeah,
just,
I have some on my website of maternity. I can do the
yeah,
maternity, but I don't do and I've done, exposed belly and that sort of
yeah,
thing. And I don't mind doing that. But when
yeah.
they start putting on the weird underwear and wanting to do
Well, I have to ask these questions because I'm interviewing you, so people know. No, that one doesn't do that. We are not going to contact her because that is not her forte.
Yeah, no. If you want to do that, you got to go to Victoria's Secret, just try it on there, take a selfie, whatever.
Yeah. Well, everybody has a different.
So, do we
Uh,
freeze?
yep, just different preferences. That's all there is to it, right?
Yeah.
And so, Susie, this is worth it. This was worth. I've been waiting to get Susie an interview, and I just
I hope I did okay. Do you edit these?
I don't, Susie.
Okay.
Okay, you are my 110th. Hold on. So you're either my 110th or 111th interview, right? And all of them have just been great. None of them have been edited, Susie. It's real life, right? We've had dogs show up in the scene. My
Well,
dog
I got a squirrel that's ready to walk in the door right here.
is he your friend, Susie?
Yeah, and they're so cute. They sit there with their little paw. He's in because I got the bay doors open, so there's light coming in, and
Okay.
he keeps coming up to like he wants to come in, and he's looking at me, and it's like, oh, you can't
Okay.
come
No,
in right
no,
now,
no.
please don't
Susie,
come in.
Susie, this what was that? Truth or something. Truth or dare or truth
Truth or
or
dare?
yeah. So this is a microphone. Susie, do you feed them?
I do.
I think it's time for the evening snack, is what you're saying.
Oh,
And
what time?
maybe
My
it's
lights up.
yeah, maybe it's the squirrel, Susie, that's disconnecting your light.
Let me go.
Are you
I'm
gonna
just gonna
take us
take
to the
this.
squirrel? Okay, let's see.
Where is the squirrel? Oh, he ran away. He ran away. I was gonna try to. So here's the outdoors right here where this was my main light. I thought
Okay.
natural
Okay.
light was gonna be good, but
No,
anyway.
the natural light on you is beautiful. I love your vibrancy. I love your wit. I love your I don't think you're one that would come into agreement with something unless you were in agreement with it, right? And so then if I think of breaking someone's potential inner self agreement of putting themselves down, when they come into the presence of Suzy, Suzy flips the switch, right? Changes the script, and she lets them walk away with a mirror image of their true beauty. That's who
Well,
I think you are.
why, thank you. And I like to believe as women, I mean, I think that men used to really dominate the photography business
Okay.
back in the day. But right now, women are like 52% of the professional photographers in the country. And I think women just have the aesthetic to be able to pull out that inner character that I don't know. I just think women are more apt to be able to do that when you sit in front of the camera, that you can get that pulled out.
Do you think maybe it's because they themselves want to experience beauty, therefore they want others to experience the beauty
I
of
think
self?
it's that well, I think that like women photographing women, I think a woman sitting in front of the camera is going to be more, I'm outside. It's going to be more, and it's wet. A woman is going to be more trusting of another woman. I think sometimes men, I don't know if like men will have, they'll say sweetie and honey and cupcake and all that kind of thing. And and it'll either turn them off or make them feel like the guy's kind of creepy or something.
Okay.
I think it's harder for guys anymore to photograph women, but
Yeah.
I just think women trust women, and I think men are afraid to say anything. If a guy sits in front of me for photographs, they're there because they had to be.
Okay. Okay.
They were told to be
Okay. Okay.
for the
Okay.
most part.
Well, that's pretty amazing. And so I want our viewers to know that in the about of this video, you will find contact information and how to get a hold of Suzy with GlimmerGlass Photography and her creative self as we're seeing. There's her light.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn it back on because I don't
Okay.
like being in the dark. Like, oh my gosh, the vanity. Oh, the vanity.
No, the outside lighting was great, Suzy.
It was okay. I just don't want to hold the computer.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
heavy. There.
Yeah.
I'm
So
back. I'm
so
back
how
in time to say goodbye. So
how would you encourage somebody else who's thought about a desire in going into this industry but wasn't sure? You've given a lot of encouraging thoughts, and so how would you encourage someone to just because if you just hit a milestone and you started
yeah,
this in 2009, right?
yeah, yeah.
You
So
weren't
and I
you weren't
started
20.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't 20. I was busy raising kids and homeschooling, and you know, it wasn't really on my radar. I was an Avon lady. I was an Avon lady, and then my husband and I had the screen printing business, and I was doing uh, setup for that. And then I always did, kind of do a little writing on the side, but I've never published really anything published. But um, I guess it was just to encourage somebody else in photography. They might look at the market and go, "Gosh, it's awfully saturated, but I sure do love it." And you have to really, if you want to monetize it, you have to be firm with it. It's really not easy to monetize it right now when everyone has a camera in their back pocket and they don't value it. So you have to really value it as on your own. Start hanging pictures that you take. Start hanging them up in your own home of photographs so that you can appreciate them more. The more you appreciate it, that will that exudes out of you to others, that appreciation for it. That,
Uh-huh.
and then you can't you can't sell something that you don't believe in.
That's
You
right.
have to
That's
be able
right.
to
That's
believe
right.
in it.
That's
So
right.
if you don't believe there's value and you're just going to go out there and go, oh, just take your picture. And you have to believe in it. You have to have a passion for it. And you got to be able to take no for an answer a lot. And I probably learned that through selling Avon. As a door-to-door person or door-to-door salesperson,
Uh-huh.
you're going to get no a lot of the time. So as a photographer, because I just work for myself,
Yeah.
and we have our own screen shop too, but that has basically been people come to you. You don't go looking for the work anymore.
Yeah.
So, and it gets to be that way, with photography, stick and stay and make it pay, they say.
Okay.
So as long as you're still around and you're reliable, you do a good job, you give them a good experience, you have to, and people are pretty creative. I mean, there's probably a lot more people that are more creative than me out there that could do this. So sometimes simple's the best. And you
Yeah.
just have to be able to, people have to trust you with their photographs. They have to trust that you're not going to put them all over the internet. You have to ask permission. You have to believe that you can do a good job for them and produce. You have to actually produce. So there's a lot more to it than just snapping the shutter.
So how has because I don't know this answer. How has photography changed? Because in my mind, um, I can see a Brady Bunch scene with developing fit pictures, right? In your own laboratory kind of thing, right?
Oh, right, right, right.
So think of just how much it's changed from when you were a little girl to
Well,
now.
yeah, so when I was little, it was like my dad had the Polaroid, or you would take your pictures to the drugstore.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
remember, it was always like such a surprise. You couldn't wait to get that film back to see how they turned out, and they never were very exciting. Really. So when I was in photography club in high school, um, and mostly because I wanted to be in the dark room with the boys, let's be honest. Um, so, and you know who you are if you're um, anyway. so so yeah, it was out. There was like the three baths that you would take the picture, you take the film out, you'd expose it onto the the paper, and then you would have to take that paper and put it into all the solutions. And yeah, it was a process. And now it's, well, people can do it on their phone, and the camera does all the work. um, but people like to still put those filters and stuff on. I
Yeah.
will take the camera, even though the camera does a lot of the work, you still have to color correct it. So if I'm looking at my image here, I don't know if this split screen is what you show.
Yeah. I show a split screen. I have three different split screens on my end.
Oh, okay. So the color in mine is so dull and off.
Okay.
I don't usually use this computer, so I didn't know it was going to look like this. But it's not vibrant. So like these new iPhones, the iPads and everything, they they even out the lighting. Like you probably have noticed this in the dark, even in a dark situation, it'll brighten it up. You're
Yeah.
taking a picture
Yeah.
and it's not that, and it evens out everything so that your background and everything is in equal light.
Uh-huh.
So that would be like a high dynamic range, which is how those cameras work. But for a DSLR, a digital SLR camera, um, the the lighting, you have to, I manually expose for the subject or for the ambient light if I'm going to use a
Okay.
flash.
Okay.
And, you have to do a little bit of color correcting because the computer and the camera doesn't give you the exact colors and stuff that you want or that it's seeing. It just doesn't see everything.
Yeah.
But your camera phone does a pretty good job of that. It does all the thinking and everything for you. But you might not get that picture that you really want. I mean, you can't really adjust for the atmosphere to get, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say with that. But
Well, people like to be pampered. Truth be told, right? People like to be pampered. There are people that buy the box to do their hair, right? There's
yeah.
people that who. One of my kids was saying, "Hey, mom, let's try some eyelashes on you." I was like, "Your mother's never had eyelashes. I'm not putting eyelashes on me because then it's going to look like I have spiders on my eyes, right?"
I know, caterpillars. La 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 la.
But so people like to be pampered, whether it be your nails to go get a massage or a pedicure, a manicure, a facial, right? Your haircut, fill in the blanks. People like to be pampered, and there's certain things that represent a measure of quality, right? So when I think of my family portrait, it would to me it was worth it because to me I call it a piece of art, right?
It is.
I wanted that art that my kids could look at 30 years from now and say, "Oh my gosh, look at our family." And my
And it's a
kids,
snapshot of history.
it is. It absolutely is. It absolutely is.
Yeah.
Um
Well,
I, I
and it's the experience that goes with it. But the and you could, sure, you could have done all that with a phone, right?
I don't think
But it
so.
wouldn't be the same.
My family's too big, Susie. We couldn't have put that
Well, right. You'd have to like
yeah.
set it on something but the thing is you want everyone's faces to be clear. And you're just not going to really get that with the phone. You might get a good light balance. You might get your good shadow light balance and stuff going, but I don't know. You're not going to get that bokeh background, that blurred out. You can't really, you can't really get the lighting that you want on your subject and blur out the background and that whole thing, that whole photography beauty thing.
Yeah, it is
It's hard to
beautiful.
get with the camera. I mean,
So
with,
so even though it's going to be in the about of this video and the link attached to this video, give us tell the people your web address.
it's glimmerglassphoto.com.
And so I would encourage everybody. Susie does a fabulous job, and I get to partake of experiencing
Thank
what
you.
she does every now and then, and it makes me giddy to see how beautiful her work is.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you go to my glimmerglassphoto.com and you can see it's my portfolio site.
Okay.
And then there's also the client. I might have a client link still up there. I don't know if there's any clients that are open to the public to look at, but
Okay.
one.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Well,
And I'll
thank you
have
so
the special event coming up, so I'll put the link to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And so, what city are you located in up there?
I'm in Seattle in the Magnolia neighborhood.
Okay. Okay. That's a gorgeous neighborhood. Love it. Love it out
Oh,
there.
thanks. Yeah, well, it doesn't look good today. It's all rainy and icky. But
That's Seattle,
that's
Susie.
Seattle.
I remember in the Magnolia neighborhood, I worked at Laurelhurst. I worked at Laurelhurst Community
Oh,
Center
at school?
at the community center.
Oh,
Uh,
the community
yeah,
center. Okay.
I worked there when I was 13, and my last summer, 13 and 14. When I was 14, it rained every single day in the summer, minus 3 days.
Oh, that's such a bummer.
Yeah,
That was a bummer
every
summer.
day. That would have been in 84, 84, 83, 82, 1982. It rained every single day in the summer, minus 3 days, because I was a camp counselor. That's how I remember it so well.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's
we've had
beautiful.
I've only experienced I think one summer like that. Maybe that was I don't think we were here in that year. We still lived in Michigan.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on today, Suzy. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
And everything we had to do to get here today, it was worth it. I love you. I love your personality. I love your outlook on life. I love what you're doing for people, and I bless you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. This is a blessing. Thank you very much for helping me out with this.
Absolutely. And to all of our viewers, I would just like to thank you for coming to this episode of Sagionic 1027. And until our next episode and our next guest, may the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon thee always. Blessings. Bye.
Bye.